Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode number 5, playing Aberration on the IronMine server. And I am doing a little running about, exploring, and I just wanted to show you this place here that I just saw from a distance. I haven't been there. Some of my server mates have, but that just looks really cool. And I've also heard that it's very scary. So we will get there soon. But that is something else. Check that out. This map is so beautiful. I'm really amazed by it and just really happy to be playing here. They did a really great job. It is so artistic, and some of the new mechanics are so cool as well. So I got a whole bunch of stuff in store today that I want to show you. A couple things here is it's nighttime right now, so I'm not going to record too long. But there's a few things I can show you. Is one, this is a gas vent and it's poisonous. I don't want to get too near it, but there is a cap that you can put on it, and then you get this these little gas globs that are the same color as that stuff coming out of there, and that's used, I think, for making the hazmat suits, which I just am able to learn. Well, maybe not just, but it's in here. Check this out, way down here, the hazard suits. So not quite, oh, check that out. Not quite hazmat. I better watch out so I don't get poisoned. So that's pretty cool. I could run in and grab that glob there, but I don't need it right now. These crystals are really cool. I'm scouting for a home place, and I would consider going by these guys, because then I'd just be lit up all the time, because sometimes we have really long nights here. But if you get close to them, there's a hum. You can't hear it too well because there's a loot crate. Well, alright guys, I was going to show you more over there, but there was a server update that caused some problems, and we got that all worked out. But at this point, I am back over at the community center, and it is getting fuller and crazier than ever. We've had all kinds of folks joining the server, and that is awesome. But things are getting pretty busy over here, and we've added S+. As you can see by the presence of our friendly neighborhood nanny. The FPS is dropping in this area, as community centers tend to do on ARK. I'm going to show you guys where to find these today, by the way. Oh, I guess I'm an otter too. I got to stay stuck in there. But so anyway, yeah, it's time for me to move out. And I don't want to go too far from here, because I want to be near the community center and everybody. But I need to have my own space. Also, with a bunch of people who, some of whom aren't necessarily recording, the progress tends to happen really fast, and I want to take it slow. There's so many things that I could show you right now, but I don't want to do it yet, because it's one thing at a time. Ooh, we got these things figured out. I'll talk about those later too. But for now, let's go over here, and I'll show you my moving plan. So alright, that'll work. I can fly, but still not very gracefully. But you can see a lot of people making rafts, and I have made mine. And they're kind of silly because there's not all that far we can go. But, you know, it's a fun way to move out of the house and get on some wheels. Or not. I guess we're floating. Before I know where I'm actually going to go. I have been doing a lot of exploring, going further afield, and I'll show you some of that today. And over the next few episodes, I will definitely be showing you some of the places I've found. There's these areas that are all blue. I don't know why. What that means, I haven't figured it out. This boat was designed just to be like a floating corral, someplace to keep my dino safe and just have a little bit of storage and crafting ability so that I could make some things on the fly. I used it also just to get myself a little set up. I went over to Arahli's, where you saw me fly to in the last episode. If you watched the little B-roll at the end, after I signed out, I faded out and faded back in again, and him and I took a long flight together. We went from the top of that pillar over there, a big metal one, and we flew all the way to his place, which is over here, and BLP is right next to him. So let's get over there and we'll start from there, and I'll show you, I'll do a little bit of exploring with you, and then I want to show you where I want to build my a little bit more permanent base. At least I think it's where I want to put the first one. I'm still very undecided about where I want to settle down permanently. I haven't had too much problems getting across here. We've got the crabs doing their crab ballet all the time. I'm really looking forward to making a cannon to tame them. Apparently, they're sort of a knockout tame like that, like the golems, where you got to hit them in the body shell with a cannon or a catapult, maybe. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, but they seem really cool, so I want to do that. But they haven't really attacked me on this yet. I steer clear of them. I've had a couple Spinos attack through here, but the thing's made of stone, so it's pretty safe. And I've got all these guys inside that can fight back anything penetrating the walls. So far, I've only lost a forge to that. But let's come over here and park. I would do a full tour of the lake, but it doesn't go too much further. You saw we started over there, and that's the opposite shore. Over here, that Spino's sitting in some more of this blue light. It's so pretty. I'm going to park over here. See, that little cabin was BLP, and then this one up on the hill here, that's Arahli. And let's go a little further. Along with adding S plus on here, we've got the pull function now. And I want to try not to get too close to their pull, so you know, they don't have to be too careful about not pulling from my chest. So let's go over here. It's a nice sunny day for a moment. I don't know how long it will last. It turns out that the nights and days here really vary, and you go through periods that can be very dark and then periods that are pretty bright. I think it has something to do with the surface, which I haven't been to. It's totally undoable in the daytime. It'll just burn you to death. But at night, I guess if you have enough cold protection, and I don't know if you need the hazard protection or whatever, you can do it. But I don't know too much about that yet either. Let me get my little train ready to go, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, I'm going to take 4 of my Ravagers, and we're going to have a little journey, and then I'm going to show you where I'm going to put my first cliff platform, which is, I think, what I'm going to start with. Like we got a level here. Let's go ahead. I'd like to do more speed, but there's one that needs to, there's one that's holding them back. So for now, let's just keep going up with the health. Okay. So yeah, you saw me land over here at Arahli's place last time. He's up on this nice little plateau here. Looks like a pretty good space. Fairly safe. And then right over there, there is BoringLP. And then all along here, this is a ton of river rocks. And I know there's other places on the map where there's more metal. I haven't found them yet. A couple players have, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to let them tell me. But these rocks, I came out with an Anki that some folks had managed to tame from a swamp that I also haven't seen that's near here. And I tore up all those river rocks. And I got about 1,000 metal ingots from that, which was a really good start. I didn't make flak armor yet, but I could. Which I'll probably do pretty soon. Just upping my fortitude a little bit more so I won't be too hot once I wear it. Anyway, on this Carno, up that way will take us back onto the path that runs around behind the community center. And so that's another way. If we came by land, we could have come down here. And there's a lot of cool places up here. But coming down this way, there's this nice little river that's running through these redwoods here. It's really beautiful. And then this area down here, if you go into your inventory, I'm not sure if it says it yet. This is the Fallen Nexus. Wow, I haven't seen that one yet. Down here, it's called the River Valley. And it's really beautiful. Let's go take a look at it. Let me see. Let's take a peek from up above first. Get the lay of the land. A couple folks have already settled over here. Up on... See where that zip line goes right there, up on that little ridge. Symbol's going to be, she's going to put the cliff platform up there. Because believe it or not, up there are some beehives, some crystal, and some metal nodes. Down here, it's half in darkness. But we'll come check it out anyway. And by the way, these Ravagers don't take much fall damage very easily. So that's really good. This whole river down here, we got a crab in it at this point. Which I usually don't see too many of those guys around here. Probably just killing fish. Let's go ahead and get rid of this crab so it won't bother us. Get all my dogs on it. These guys are a great source of organic polymer. Come on, go ahead and die. Oh, you know what I just realized is there's no primary attack in the water. I gotta use my alt attack. Alright, there we go. So, this river... See, let's turn the light on for the dark spots. In here is a great place for fish. But also, if the crab didn't kill them all, it's a great place for otters. It's where those otters came from, and they tend to congregate down in the low point. Last time I was, oh, here we go. Here is an otter. Oh, and it's level 102. That's not bad at all. Maybe I'll take a brief pause and get an otter. No, you know what? I'm going to pause or pass on that because I've already got this bulb dog on me and I wouldn't be able to carry it. And I don't have too much issue with cold yet. I will soon enough. But anyway, there is evidence that this is otter land right here, and there's plenty of fish to kill and feed to the otters. So, yeah, if you want an otter, the River Valley is the place to get it. So anyway, this goes on for a ways. It's really pretty. This and the whole Fertile Lake area, I'm suspecting, are two of the prettiest areas on the map. Oh, I didn't know you came along. Extra? Okay. I got an extra. So as long as they're all with me. Anyway, so I could run around some more and show you a bunch of stuff, but now that you kind of got the lay of the land where I'm thinking of settling, let me show you my plan. And I've been waiting for you guys to do it because I didn't want to do this without you. It's my first time doing this. Let's make sure I get everybody up the hill. Oh, and got that. So I always keep some of these other guys on my hotbar because it cures you of it pretty much instantly. The agaravic, and I mentioned that before, but it just keeps coming up. It's really hard to always pay attention enough to never step in those, especially when you're running around all over the land. So let's get up here. I want to show you more stuff about fish and the fish basket too, but all things in due time. I could like just spurt everything out. And, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Really loving all the new things they put in here. Okay, so we got everybody with us. Cool. So I'm thinking of settling somewhere right here in between this lake valley here, or excuse me, river valley, and the lake over here. And I wanted it to be right here perhaps, but I'm still in render of Arahli and BLP, and I don't want to mess up their frame rate because I tend to be a little lavish with my building some dinos. Oh, this is a great spot right here. But I want to use the new stone platforms. And so my first build's definitely got to take advantage of this. I could always just put like a little tea house right there or something. Check it out. That's all the organic polymer from the crab. But on one of these guys, I have got the tree platform, or the cliff platform, excuse me, right there. So let's go ahead and grab that and see what that does. So it's like a tree platform, which I keep calling it, but it won't place on a tree. I've already tried that, but I should probably demonstrate to you guys. Well, we'll get there. Those trees are too far away. It wants to place on the side of something, but it's rather picky about that too, what it considers a side. It was green there for a second. Interesting. It needs to be very close to you. It needs to be an actual cliff. Wow. And I think it wants you to be above it too. So it seems to like... I gotta put it away. It seems to... Okay, there would be an earthquake. It seems to like you hanging from climbing picks. Okay, and then we'll pull it out, and then see, with us hanging from climbing picks, and it right below us, it would let us place it right there, but I'm not sure that's where I want it. I mean, it's nice, but I'd be kind of blocking a little intersection right here, and like I said, it's still within render of those guys. And I tried placing it further up that way, and it was still being weird about like where exactly it would let me place it and stuff like that. So let's just hop down here and let me show you what I did figure out. It's going to be a little bit of an engineering feat, but that's good because it's going to force me to use some of the other new stuff like the wood elevator. I'm going to see how viable those are. But if we come over here to the other side, there's a bunch of cliffs right there. So let me get up here. Let me see if I can get up with this guy. I can. And the rest of them are going to be stuck right there, but that's okay. We're going to leave this here. And what I've done is I've got a zip line placed here right now. And we're going to try to place my platform right up there. So you don't really get an indicator when you have the motor on. I've got the zipline motor attached to my hide pants right here. But that's okay. You just press your use key and there you are. And so now we are climbing up this zip line. And so right about here, there's this little ledge that has mushrooms and it continues along that way. And not a whole lot up here. There is a beehive. That might be handy if I can handle that, you know, see how well I can do harvesting from it. But you can see that hanging from a zip line works pretty well too for this. And I'm getting a lot of options right here. Go into K mode and just slowly back down. And then once I get about there, it's going to let me place it. So I want to place it as high as I can, so I get as much surface area on it as I can. I've got a visitor. Hello. Go ahead. Okay. And now, let's go ahead and, let me see, get off of this. I have placed my first stone cliff platform. So I could probably keep putting them along the edge and really extend this area out. I was about to say I'm pretty safe up here, but I'm going to have to put a little fencing up there apparently. And I'm also high enough that I thought I was out of render of those guys. When I was over here I was, but it's still pretty far away. I certainly won't be cramping their style. I'm certainly out of render of Arahli, but I probably could make a series of zip lines that go to them to visit. Anyway, I wanted to try one of these perches to start with. So next thing I'm going to need to do is make a good way to get up here. I was thinking I could make a little corral in that area. I'd kill a few tree spawns, but there's plenty of trees around here. We got metal down there. We got otters down there. And also down in that river were trilobites, which one of our main sources of oil at the moment. And I got a pretty darn good view up here too. So I'm going to work on that. But looking into my engrams, let's go ahead and just turn on the aberration ones again. I want to try this wood elevator here. I don't know the difference between it and the metal one, except hopefully it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's meant to be accessible earlier on in the game. And, well, the metal one would be in the regular engram. So I'm going to use some combination of, and there's a metal cliff platform too later on. I'm going to use some combination of elevators and zip lines in order to make this work and to be able to live at this height. So we'll see how it goes. If it becomes too much of a hassle, I could do something more ground-based. But, you know, since this is the new thing, the new meta, I wanted to try it. We also got the portable rope ladders, and maybe we'll get to this next episode. All right, so I'm going to work on putting this together and see if I can pull that off. I might put a couple more cliff platforms too along the way here to kind of extend my area. We'll see how that goes. I just wanted to place the first one with you all, so I will bring you back. And there's no beaver in Aberration. I've heard the roll rat is pretty good at harvesting wood. Problem with it is it doesn't have any weight reduction. So my favorite way of harvesting wood right now is I become the beaver. I just run around, equip the axe, and then I can just take the wood and put it in the inventory of my Ravager, and its weight gets halved. So they're pretty effective, and this one doesn't have the best weight, but they easily go up to 1,000 weight, and I've got a ton of them. So that's how I'm going to be getting my wood for this project. Alright, I figured out a few things and I wanted to show you before I got too far. So I stuck another platform right here. So just widen it out a little bit. And I should be able to extend a couple foundations off of this and maybe fill the gap in between them as well. So I think that's how big I'm going to make it for now. I could go further along this way, which might be okay. I am going to hit that tree right there. So we'll see how that goes. But I've got the first few pieces of this elevator down. I actually built it about halfway down and then I destroyed it. Just trying to shorten this thing. So I'm not going to do that this time. But I think I've got the gist of it. So there's these shaft parts, the track, and then at the top of it there was a gizmo. I forget exactly what they called it, but it goes at the top there. You can see there's these lever and gears. And then here I have made, go ahead and put it down, the large elevator platform. So this is the biggest one, and it comes out about 2 foundations. In fact, that looks like it's pretty much exactly 2 foundations. I couldn't get this out any further and have it face in like this because I'm already extended 2 foundations out. That's as far out as that would go. So it'll clip a little bit coming in, but I think that's okay. And then my little method I was doing, whoa, gotta watch out with the earthquake, wanted to knock me down, is I found that I can put about 2 tracks down, and then the way this thing works is if you look up at that top part and you got this little menu here, let's go ahead and hold to release, and it just lets itself down a bit as far as I've put tracks. He's making that sound for a little while. Let me down. And there you go. So then I can go down 2 more tracks and then I just kind of rinse and repeat. So I've got this little ladder coming down so I can keep going. So I come up here and I found that I actually have to lift it once. And the lifting action is, don't demolish it, is 1 section at a time, so this doesn't use any fuel. Basically, you're just doing like a lever pulley action. Now I've got it beneath me at this point. I might be able to go 1 more higher. Does it go any higher? Nope, that's it. So then we can go ahead and release it. I only have to lift it up once to make it go back down again. And then I've gone down a bit more. And the ladder goes down as far as I built it before. So otherwise I'd be placing 2 ladders each time too. And so far it's let me place it. I'm going down. I hope I don't hit a limit on that. But yeah. Go ahead and lift it up. And then go back down. So that's my method. I just, you know, figured that out. There may... whoa, what the heck? Oh, man. Oh. I should have pressed my wings, but I was just like, what happened? Anyway, I'll get it figured out. I'll have to look back at the editing and figure out what I did wrong there. Then the game crashes when that happens too. But that's my method to my madness. So I'll see you when I get it done. All right. Oh man, I just had to show you this. You know how I was running around on my Ravager with my hatchet? Well, Arahli just messaged me and let me borrow his roll rat. He just offered it, and it's amazing. This is Handsome Jack, level 258. So, turn this on. So when I was with those guys, I was getting maybe 50, 70 fungal wood a hit. Well, with this guy, check that out. I just got 332 with one hit. Uh-oh, somebody's in a fight. What's going on here? Just a second, guys. Okay, I must have accidentally hit somebody or something. I don't even see what I did. But let's try it again over here. $256. So that's a huge increase. That's like 5 times more. Sometimes on those big mushrooms there, it seems like 7 times more, 10 times more. And then what I do, see, I already got that guy filled up, is I just bring up the Ravengers and I go ahead. I should use the transfer tool for this. Arahli already has some things in here. I'll probably just move that stuff over and that would make it even easier. But basically I transfer all the fungal wood to the Ravengers, and then they get half the weight that the roll rat does, because the roll rat's a great harvester but doesn't get any weight reduction. And this is a game changer, because I had like clear cut this whole place for fungal wood already and it hadn't even got me very far. Now if I do it this way, it's going to be so much more streamlined and efficient and just get so many more resources per thing. So I was kind of saving the real rat till I tamed one, the mole rat, but yeah, just had to share that big improvement. And I'll show you how it rolls next time when I tame one. I gotta wait for that. Okay, I'm on take 2. I tore it all down because it turns out it clipped into the cliff down there below us, and they won't go past that. I thought it might be okay if it clipped a little bit, but it actually gets stuck, which I kind of appreciate because that's more realistic. So I took it all apart, and now I'm going to do it this way. Well, first, I'm building on these with the fence foundations, kind of the old school way that I did it back in vanilla on the island when the tree platforms first came out, because I just think these are pretty. I don't want to cover them up with foundations. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this way and just extend out from them. I think with the stone, I was thinking about doing it with wood for looks, but stone also might feel a bit stronger. Anyway, so I went ahead and I put a lower level down here. I don't want to go down there and get stuck. I needed the ramp to get out, but from the fence foundations, I went up with these double walls that I'm using from S+. You could use regular doors too, but I want to keep this fairly permeable. But I do need to put those there in order to stick these guys out. And the way I did it initially is I went out with a ceiling and then down with 2 walls, and then I was able to stick a floor across. But then I kind of changed that. I also have going down from there. And the reason I did that is because these things will stick up wherever you place them. And I didn't like having to reach all the way up to grab this part. So this is actually placed down there, and then that puts it at a nice height for working with. And now it also is on the inside of this section. So before when it was way out here, I realized I was going to have no way to get around to actually work it. So I think that's a better configuration. And then let me get down below and let me see. Let me make sure that I have some things on me for that. I figured out a better way to do it than my whole ladder method that I was doing before. Okay, let me see if I can pull this off now. before I had no idea how vertical these could be and still be used. And turns out they can be pretty darn vertical. I'm going to put it to this guy here. This is where the old one lined up. It's going to be different, but I think that should be close enough. Now let's grab onto it with my zipline motor and check me out. You can go straight up, and turns out it worked with the Ravager as well. I should have tried this straight off before, but for some reason I thought it would be really unlikely that this would work. And now I can just go ahead and do this. It's a little weird which button takes you up and down sometimes. It depends on where you're looking. But now I've got a really easy way to do this. And I don't know yet whether when you attach it to the ground, if that would anchor it. Like if I could just go ahead and, you know, delete the support from there. But at this point I won't have to. So don't want to lose all this because there's a lot of materials. But I will put it in, sink it into a foundation down below. Anyway, a lot of learning with these wood elevators, but I thought I'd bring you guys along so you could share some of my learning. All right, so I'll see you in a bit after I've done some more work. All right, I got it built and I'm using it for the first time. It's not very practical, but it's very cool. You can see I've got the platform coming partway up. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I had to build a big ramp because it didn't go all the way down to the ground. There's not too much space down there. And so I got it so that it got pretty close to the ground. Then it clips down into that rock. I should just take you down there. Maybe we'll take a ride down. And now I'm bringing it up. So the mechanic for bringing it up, I showed you before, is you got to do this. And that's just like one building space at a time. So I'm pulling it up, I'm levering it up. I think there was something like 54 of the tracks to go down. So I got to do this 54 times to bring it up. But it doesn't use any fuel. That's cool. So it's definitely pretty low tech. And it's, you know, something that is possible that this would work, I think. So I'm only going to use it in rare occasions when I need to get a dyno up here. It's definitely not going to be my main mode of transport. But like right now, I've got Exa, who was the first, well, not the first, but the first, oh, you can see it coming up now. The first raptor that I managed to hold onto. And I don't have much use for her, so I'm going to bring her up here and just kind of archive her. So there she is. Oh, one more level. So it did, you know, it did come up. It wasn't terrible, but it does take a minute. But for things I couldn't get up here otherwise, you know, dynos that I just want to hang up here and I can't bring them on my shoulder, then it's pretty cool for that. And let's take the ride down. And so the going down is not too bad. You just kind of release it, and it's pretty quick going down. The other downside is you cannot lift it from below. You got to put what you want on it, and then you climb up and you lift it up from the top. So you definitely still have to have a zip line in order to get down. But it's pretty cool. I'm glad I checked it out. It would definitely be more practical on a platform that was not as high. So that's where it gets stuck. Right there, it's just clipping a little bit, excuse me, into this stone. And that's all right. This is close enough to the ground. I just had to make this little ramp to get up to it. And now I'm going to kind of fence off this little area. And that would be my on-the-ground corral. So a lot of the things I need, like stegos and Ankies and Doties and whatever, they'll just live down in here. And so I won't really need to worry about bringing them up and down. And then the Ravagers are going to be my main way up and down with materials because they can use the zip line and they reduce the weight of raw materials. So I'll just keep zip lining them up and they'll be my main way of getting goods, materials up to this base. And we'll see how long I actually, we'll see how long I actually use this base before I get sick of the work of doing it. But I had to check out these things at least once. This one's a little tricky, and I'm going to have to come up with some better zipline systems too in order to make this a little bit more practical. Anyway, I think in the interest of getting this out, I'm going to stop there. I've got a lot of base building to do. I'm going to go all the way around the whole perimeter of them with the whole fence foundation thing. Figure out how that's going to go and build this whole place up. But yeah, for now, this is MonkeyPuzzle up here with my stone cliff platforms. It's pretty dark. I got to get more of these little bulb dogs, or I guess there's like 3 other creatures that light up too. I haven't even come across them yet, except I did see some folks have a shine horn already. Because it's going to be dark a lot on this map, so I got to get it lit up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, maybe learned something, and I will be back soon with the next one. Oh, and one thing I almost forgot to mention, because I never really do like self-promotion on this channel, is that I do have a Patreon now. I went ahead and did that a little while back, and some folks found it before I even announced it. But if you want to play on this server, all you got to do is join the Patreon and think of the $5 level. And as I said before, that's not to make money, but that's just because we've enjoyed having a community on the server, but we need some sort of filter so that people who come on are responsible and nice enough to play with. So that option is there if you like it. Anyway, thank you folks for watching until the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.